That would be pretty sweet, though. Your
man, my
your whole
government-
life.
It's never hooked me up with a woman ever.
Actually, a tall baddie. Where's my Dom mommy?
I've gotten 0 babes from the government.
The government sends me some small. Like, yeah, we're trying a different experiment with you.
Like, have you
actually.
seen my government-issued babe? She's not anywhere. We're live.
What is up, Eddie?
How's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
This is the first time we're recording a podcast with someone else in the room.
It is. Should
know.
we make note to?
So if we seem nervous, it's because it's a really hot girl.
She's super hot.
She's sitting right over there, and she's determined whether or not she's going to go out with us based on how funny this podcast is.
I think she's already decided she's not going out. It's been decided. That would be.
You're right. Let's get some ugly Italian in here instead. All right.
Yeah, Gio, come on
Perfect,
in.
Gio.
Yeah, we have our buddy Gio, who's born in Italy, doesn't speak the most English, so he's trying to learn how a modern American speaks, and he's going to directly go from our podcast. So he's going to be women hating, fat hating.
Yeah,
Actually,
what is it?
He kind of already is as an Italian.
He's like, oh, this is an
my
Italian
podcast.
podcast.
Yeah.
This is,
Speaking of which, I am Italian. We do love women.
yeah, of course, I know.
But
But you were saying the neighbor came up and she's
Yeah.
like, what's the theme of your podcast? Is it hating poor and fat people?
Fat hating, poor hating.
Fat and poor hating?
And women, apparently. Well, I don't know, dude. Your set last night, there's definitely some anger towards women in that set.
In my set.
You kill a lot of prostitutes. It seems.
Oh, I do. I do. It's rare that I do both prostitute killing jokes in the same set.
It's a theme.
It's- yeah. Well, I only kill prostitutes once, and I also kill my ex-girlfriend. I've had that. I've gone out, and then the person that went after me was a girl, and she's like, this is obviously, take a guess where I did this show. And she was like, wow, I love being in a room with guys that kill their girlfriends. I feel so safe as a woman.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, I was in Brooklyn. And then did her first 5 minutes on how terrible straight white guys are. Kind of like, it was at me, for sure.
I mean, again, your set was about how you're going to murder her, so she was defending herself.
How I had murdered.
Yes.
It's completed.
You weren't dating her. So
Yeah. It's fine.
Also at your show last night, there was a very mean gay man who was called out by the comedian after you for being a mean gay, and he did not like that, but he then proceeded to be the meanest gay ever. Like, he was like shitting on his girlfriends, and then
We played right into their hands.
yeah, I mean, and then we were watching the Knicks game on the TVs at that bar need to figure it out.
I know.
There's like 2 minutes left in the Knicks game, and the guy's like, "Oh, let me
Yeah,
buffer the change the
Well,
channel."
the TV was bad enough, and then the other guy's like, let me just switch it away.
Yeah.
That'll help.
Turn it
Yeah.
off. And Mean Gay was like, he's like, "Oh, you boys, this is like an Olympic sport for you boys. You love this." And we're like, "Yes." And we're
was
watching the
just,
game, and
like-
no one was giving him any credit.
The mean attitude didn't help.
No.
It wasn't like he was pretending it was his first time he'd seen guys watch a basketball game.
Yeah.
But wow, straight white guys love. Oh my goodness.
Meanwhile, it's like, this is the most important basketball game of the season so
I was
far.
like, it's playoff season in New York. You had to pass 4 bars of straight dudes. This is not your first time witnessing.
We were also watching it on a phone. Like,
Yeah.
we weren't like fucking taking our shirts off.
But just to act surprised that people like professional basketball is like. And also, do you think the gay community sincerely likes Olympic gymnastics to that level? I don't think so.
No.
First of all, you can't because it only happens once every 4 years.
Well,
And
I mean, it happens for us because we're not in the loop. But
no, Olympic gymnastics happens every 4 years.
well, I think there's like Olympic trials and shit. Like if you want to follow the journey of an Olympian,
Oh, you start.
yeah.
They're like that 11-year-old. This
is looking real limber.
Potential. Yeah. They're scouting out.
That
They're
is
like-
weird when like child athletes, because like Tiger Woods was like 3, 4 when he was first on the golf scene because his dad had him golfing. And people were like, "Oh yeah, that 4-year-old's gonna fuck in the future. He's
Yeah.
gonna make a bunch of
'cause
money."
He was like on TV and stuff. When
Yeah.
he was very young.
Yeah, same
was
with
like,
Rory. So clearly, that's my parents' fault for not putting me in the spotlight
Television,
as a golfer.
though.
Yeah,
You're a mediocre golfer. They bring you to the TV studio. They're like, he performs under pressure. Let's get him out there.
let's get him on the
and
hot
let's
lights.
do this.
I mean, I definitely would shit my pants playing sports as a kid, like with a crowd, and knowing your mom and dad was in the outfit, like I didn't do any better. So I can't
Glad you
imagine.
added the with a crowd there. I thought you were just like.
Oh, I was pretty
confessing
bad
to-
at sports in general, but then like,
no, I thought you were saying that you just would shit your pants as a kid.
oh no,
like, all
never
right.
shit my pants in front of a crowd. There was a golfer. Some of the tournaments they let in pros from clubs, so like they're not professional golfers, but every golf course has a head pro, and this guy like taught lessons. His name is Michael Block. They're not expected to do well, and last year he got like a hole in one. He made the cut, he was a story, and people really liked him. And he immediately shot himself in the foot later that week when he was like, "Yeah, I think if I had more distance, I could compete with like Rory and Ty, all the big guys." And people were like, "All right, bro, let's pump the brakes a little bit." He has created himself as like the biggest enemy, and every time he goes on a mic, he just says another stupid quote. And he got in the tournament this year, almost came in last, like basically dead last. And his complaint was that he played better with larger crowds around him. So he's like, really the issue is that no one was following me. He's like, I play better under pressure. If the crowds were bigger, I might have played. It's like, all right, buddy.
He's like, it's so quiet on the tee.
Yeah.
I need cheers.
Focus on my abilities.
I do love that when people are like, he was saying, if I could hit further, I would compete with these guys. Yeah. If you were better at golf, you could compete with them. Everyone agrees. No one's like.
And if my grandmother had wheels, she'd be a bicycle.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love that video.
It's kind of like the same vibe where like the comedian's like, damn, this crowd must suck. It's like, well, we lapped the last guy.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I do feel for a tough crowd though, because it seemed like last night, like all the comedians pointed out the left side of the room, and the right side where we were on, it sounded like a great show.
Great.
Yeah.
I liked the right side of the room.
It's hard to tell when it's a bad show when the 10 people around you are the good part of the show. You're like, this show is crushing.
Yeah. Well, there was just ladies chatting.
Chatty ladies.
Also, this is maybe a little in the weeds, but I have such a complaint with comedy clubs where not all the seats are facing the stage, and it's like, what is? Because I kind of get it. The ladies that were chatting were in like on like a
they
table,
had their backs to you. Yeah.
Yeah, backs to me, facing their friends, and they had to do a full like more than 90 degrees to look at the stage. And so I'm like, yeah, I would probably talk to my friends
Yeah.
too.
If I've sat in seats there, I turn my seat around as a respectful audience member.
But no, these ladies were all like full crane.
Full arching the back. I liked in Stanford's comedy club, all the seats are like facing. It's almost like pew seating.
Yeah, that's like I think what it should be.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be.
Well, would it surprise you that a lot of these New York City comedy venues aren't the best setup? Like, didn't you perform in like a veggie grill once?
Yeah, but that's not. This is a comic strip.
Sure,
club.
but the comic
it's the
strip
oldest club in New York City. They've had the most time to figure it out.
Well, they're not making changes to their venue, right? Like that's the original room.
Yeah, no, it's the same. But this is turn the seats. This is my point.
Right.
It's not. You don't need to
rocket
remodel.
science. What would be your ideal club setup? Do you like
Just-
a higher stage, low stage?
Oh,
What
I
about a
don't know,
pit?
man. I don't know. Whatever.
That'd
Yeah,
be sick.
definitely not a pit.
Why not?
Oh, I don't know. I guess
Yeah,
lots of venues are like pits.
exactly. But
My ideal comedy setup is when people show up. That's
I'm thinking of
when
like
I've more than 4 people in the room. I'm like, this is
Oh,
ideal comedy.
perfect
Look
room.
at this. This is-
my perfect setup.
I do too many shows with 3 or 4 people in the room.
Do you feel like the number of people affects your show?
Sure, yeah.
Like, is there a point where like there's too many people where you would shit your pants?
Yeah, like at 6 or 7, I'm like, all right,
It's a
let's
very
pull this
fine
back
line.
in. It's just,
So
I want
4 people
5.
is really the perfect number.
I want 5, 4 or 5, ideally. No, I don't know. We were at a piano bar last night. Obviously, you were there as well. But I'm just still thinking about how there's no dancing allowed in the music bar.
So like, went as far to say New York City law, NYC law, no dancing.
Everywhere. There were more no dancing than no smoking signs.
Yeah, for
They're like,
sure.
if you have to pick between smoking in this bar
We were
and dancing in
vaping
this
hard
bar,
in that bar. No one batted an eye.
but our hips were still, and so they're like, you're
Feet were
good.
locked in.
You're good to go.
But I mean, that one girl was definitely, she was close to dancing.
she was dancing.
She was.
She must have an in with the owner or something.
I don't know. She left pretty quickly after that dance. She licked that
Well,
guy's
that's-
teeth, and then
They quietly removed her.
Yeah.
They're like, excuse me, ma'am. But what do you think? How do they talk to like the musicians beforehand? They're like, don't you fucking dare do a good
No.
job.
no toony music.
If you crush it this evening and people start to jiggle,
I mean, we were talking about it. Do you think it's an actual law? Can I Google this?
Yeah, Google this. Because, like, what? Oh, you know what's crazy
No
is that
dancing
bars
law,
without live
NYC
music,
bar.
they don't have a no dancing sign.
The New York City cabaret law was a dancing ban originally enacted in 1926 during Prohibition and repealed in 2017.
Wait, that's so recent.
Yeah.
Wait, no dancing in any bar? What is this? What does it mean?
Law officially known as the cabaret law had been in effect. The repeal of the cabaret law didn't immediately make dancing legal in all bars and venues. Okay, so it does sound like it's a real
But 2017. That
amend to end dancing ban in parts of the city takes step forward. In many parts of the city, it's illegal to have dancing in a commercial establishment. But that could be changing in the future.
When is this article?
This was published 2024. 2017, the city repealed the law requiring businesses to get a license to allow dance. You need a license. You got a license for those moves? Are you fucking kidding me?
That's so funny, man. I want a
Most
license
people thought
to dance.
it's the end of Footloose. We've repealed the cabaret law because you were talking about Kevin Bacon.
This is like the if someone was doing a gay parody of James Bond, instead of a license to kill,
A license to
a
dance.
license to dance. All right, so it sounds like there's a real law, but it is just
It's hard to tell people to stop dancing and enforce it because it's their body and they have the right to freedom of expression. Yeah, where does this?
no James.
I'm not dancing. I'm expressing my bodily freedoms.
That would be it was fun. Imagine like the cops come into a bar and they start removing people for dancing. And this is how you learn you're bad at dancing. They're like, no,
Oh,
man,
you can say.
you're good. Whatever you're doing, it does not.
No, you're perfectly within the law with those.
If a no spazzing outlaw comes, we'll come back and get you.
No
but
panicking mode. I mean, maybe they use you as an example to discourage other dancers. Like,
Really?
he can do what he's doing, but you guys got to stop.
they're like, this is what dancing leads to.
Yeah.
You could end
These
up
are the
like this
results of
guy.
dancing, dangerous dancing.
So this has to be. This must be the inspiration for the Kevin Bacon movie.
The cabaret law,
Yeah,
probably.
it has to be.
1926. When was that movie? The
Or
50s?
maybe the cabaret law was inspired by the Kevin Bacon movie.
They were like, shit, that was a good call. Those
They
people
were like, that town looked so peaceful before they started dancing in there.
let's let those hoodlums in dancing.
We need to lock this.
What's their reasoning for no dancing in Footloose? Just like,
Sincerely, I've never seen the movie. I just know
Oh,
the premise.
it's a
that
good movie.
No dancing allowed. Kevin Bacon changes that.
it is a fire movie, but I don't remember why no dance. It's definitely just because like they're just super religious and dancing leads to
Yeah, there is a type
sex or something.
of like a very old school religious perspective.
I
where they're
remember in the movie the parents have the two separate twin beds, which I do think it's obviously not a very romantic wedding setup or marriage setup, but it's probably pretty nice a couple times.
pretty nice.
Like my ex-girlfriend was so warm sometimes. And I'm like, damn, if there was a twin bed
and
right there.
loving.
we just-
Just the worst.
All right, it's not even warm. Hot. She was like a furnace, and
You're like, you know what I'd like? Kind of a distant marriage.
no,
I don't want to spend too much time.
I think it's not a good setup, but there had to have been a couple nights where the guy was like, oh yeah, and the girl too. I mean, I'm a starfish.
Yeah, I don't know, but dude, we don't fit in twin beds. It's not good.
No.
You're like, oh yeah, and then
It
your
would need
feet
to
come
be
out the
one
bottom.
queen bed and then one cot.
Yeah. Also, that's a crazy complaint. I would tell people when I was young and I still had a twin bed, but I was still this height, and I'd be like, I don't fit in it, and they'd be like, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, they're not as big as you think. It's
They're
like
not.
if you're taller than 6 feet, your toes at least are hanging off the edge if you lay out.
I remember in college we got the extra long twin.
Yeah, that's what we got.
It did
upgraded
make
to.
a difference. Like that helped
fit.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the twin beds, I think all beds are the same length, if I'm not mistaken. Like a queen, a twin, and a full are the same
Maybe. I don't know.
long wise, but then
I'm admittedly a little shaky on my bed science. I
yeah.
don't-
Let me take you
All
through
right,
it.
yeah, well-
I think that is the case, but I didn't believe it at first, but it kind of makes sense because you could spread out, so you're not just linear. But I feel like I'm the same length on most beds, like head to toes.
Yeah, you're the same height almost. What do you mean?
Yeah, well, like when I lay down in a bed, I don't feel like a queen bed. I have all this
Oh,
room at the end of my
well,
feet.
okay. You're like, yeah, I'm about as tall as I am, no matter what bed.
Don't you grow when you go to space or something?
Your spine decompresses. You
Yeah.
shrink right back down.
So maybe the bed's so comfy, your spine is
Yeah,
decompressing.
you're
Unlike the
literally,
perfect bed.
literally weightless
Yeah.
on the bed.
Do you prefer a firm or soft mattress?
Firm.
Really?
I'll sleep on the floor.
Oh,
You don't.
What?
What do you sleep? Yeah. What are you sleeping
I
on?
mean, like a cushiony, soft
My
bed.
back hurts if it's too soft.
Well, like I don't want to be sleeping on a Jello bag, but something that's like the floor is definitely not my preference.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm aware it's not common. Obviously, beds exist, but I like the floor. I like just like maybe a yoga mat.
Do you
on the
actually
floor.
sleep on the floor?
Not every night, but yeah, sometimes.
You get out of your bed and get on the floor.
Well, I won't. If it's a floor night, I don't even get in the bed. When am I gonna
It's a
tease?
Do you know when you wake up? Like, oh, it's totally gonna be a floor
It's a
night.
floor night. No, it's like my bag will be annoying me for a day or two, and I'm like, I gotta go back to the floor. It heals me.
It's like a drug.
Yeah,
I
it's
need
like-
the floor.
I haven't had a floor in 2
You have
weeks.
a family. Your wife doesn't know about this. You've been flooring in the middle of the night.
Well, I thought about that. You can get these things, and it's basically just a very wide, like a bed-shaped yoga mat, and you just sleep on that on the floor. But then I was like, I could never bring a girl here. I'm
She's gonna think you're sacrificing her.
She's gonna think I can't afford a bed. I'm like,
That would be like the funniest thing to cheap out on. You have this like nice apartment, all these amenities. It's like just couldn't afford the bed. Yeah, you know, things are
but
tough.
the thing is, these mats, they're not even that much cheaper than a bed because they're like, there's not. I
Are
don't
they
know.
comfy?
No, they're like a yoga mat, just
why are they
bigger,
expensive?
wider. I don't know.
Just
If
get
they
two
look
yoga
nice.
mats.
I'll staple them together.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, not discrediting, but the yoga mat's not the floor. Like that, there's a little bit of cushion there.
that's a little better. Yeah,
That's you're getting closer to a soft mattress. It's
you're
like
right.
the softest thing you could put on the floor.
You're right. Now that I think about it, sleeping on a yoga mat and sleeping on a bed are the same.
You
Now,
should be
when you
putting
put
a
it
piece
this
of
way.
cardboard down or plywood.
All right, but now I have a homeless setup in my room. Like she comes
I
in,
mean-
like you're gonna love my box.
Imagine the space you would save without a bed. My room would be huge without my bed.
Yeah, it would be nice. I could just roll it up each evening,
But then all the shit under my bed would be where I'm sleeping. That would be.
or I raise my bed up and I have the yoga mat underneath. So then when I get home, I'm like, no, this bed is actually just for
This
appearances.
is a show bed.
This is my show
It's the
bed.
guest bed.
It's always perfectly made. It's like
A girl definitely would not sleep with you if you did not have.
I
a
could
bed.
talk them into it, but
No,
I would have
there's
to.
No way. You'd have to have like, oh, my bed just got stolen.
No, they would have to expect it from the beginning. So I would have to change my whole vibe to like yogi, like materialism is bad.
Yeah.
So then they're like, it matches up.
You're a finance bro that doesn't
Yeah.
have a bed. That's just.
And then when they get annoyed, there's no bed. I'm like, you're surprised? Have you not seen my whole thing here?
You should have seen this coming.
I did, dude. I was on the subway the other day, and it smelled awful. It's like so bad where it's like, oh, there's a homeless person sitting near me. I didn't notice. I got to move. And I start to look around. No homeless people.
It was you.
That'd be a crazy twist.
You're like,
But
and actually, I've been on the subway for 4 days.
I was the homeless person. No, I finally figured out who it is, and they were just the true to form hippies, just sitting across. They look. Well, the crazy thing, they looked clean. Their clothes were cleaned. They weren't dirty, but they smelled gross, like so bad.
Dirty hippies.
It's got to be like they're like, you know,
They just don't shower.
this shampoo has touched a bunny. I'm not going to use it, or whatever the reason for not using shampoo is. Because
the chemicals in the shampoo, man.
how clean they looked and how bad they smelled.
What were they wearing? Like,
Yeah, just the dude was wearing like a green shirt and green pants with like a puka shell necklace. He had like 3 or 4 necklaces. One of them was a puka shell.
naturally.
And he had almost dreads, but it was more like just I've never combed my hair.
Is he a white man?
White dude.
Mm.
But it wasn't like, hey, I went and got dreads. It's like, hey, I have long hair and I don't use
And
shampoo.
I haven't used shampoo
And
in
so
10
it's-
years.
It was that. And then a girl with a similar vibe. Who's that girl that looks hippie and is all over Instagram? Do you know what I'm talking about? Is like a rapper, I think.
Oh, she does like the peace love song.
Well, yeah.
There's
That's
one
all
girl that
hippies.
I'm thinking of who does like hippie.
Whatever, but
girl
all her
rap.
all her comments on her videos
Yeah,
are always
it's
like,
this girl.
yeah, what's her name?
Shannon Blake. Shannon Blake.
Shannon Blake.
Manifestation music. That's what she
Yeah.
does. It is pretty funny.
But yeah, all the comments on her videos are usually like,
Must smell horrible.
like she's so hot, she's hot enough I'd put up with the smell, something like stuff like that.
I mean, homeless people smell is a very distinct. It's just like no
Piss.
shower.
It's like
Yeah,
pee and
piss
poop.
and poop. And I mean, I think if we didn't shower for 6 months, we would smell horrible. Like 2 weeks. But
Yeah, wait, what?
well, I'm
Yes,
saying
cool. What? Yes.
I think the piss and shit stuff is.
You have to wash or you smell bad. I don't know.
If you changed everything, but like you changed your clothes, like you still were.
I think if we skipped lunch today, we'd be hungry.
We'd be a wee bit famished.
We'd be.
I think it's not just the shower. Like living on the streets, there's a lot more that goes to it. Because hippies, all they do is not shower.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
I
They're
think-
not covered in their own excrement.
And they're like, I mean, I'm sure their clothes are not the cleanest, but
Their clothes looked clean, like almost pressed.
and then they're sleeping in beds, like sleeping outside definitely adds.
Well, that's where we started. Maybe not.
yeah. They could
It
be
might
sleeping on
be.
yoga mats on the floor.
The extra large yoga mats.
No, there's no way they sprung for the extra large, dude. The minimalist lifestyle of a hippie, you get the
Really, you would go no yoga
Yeah.
mat if you were true.
you sleep on the grass.
If you're truly in touch
Grass is a
with
little too
nature.
soft though. It's a little too comfortable.
That is. What are you pampering yourself? Life of luxury, grass
I
bed.
need that luxurious grass instead of
Yeah.
the extra.
You know what I might do? I think a hammock would be nice.
Hammock sleep. I mean, that is way better than the floor, but you're still not getting laid. You're actually it's impossible now. The girl's like, how do we even do this? Sex in a hammock must be. I mean, I'm sure someone's done it, but it has to be.
I'm sure many people.
I've never even been able to sit in a hammock with two people.
Well,
And-
there's two kinds. There's like the net kind, where
Yeah,
it kind of wraps
okay.
around you, and then there's the part with the kind with the wooden beams on each end, so it's
Yeah.
forced flat.
But that one's like so difficult to balance on. The one that doesn't like wrap you up.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine having sex on one of those things would be. It's like one of the monkey ladders.
I guess it's a little
Like
true.
I've fallen off those things not having sex.
But girls like a little danger.
Sure.
So you raise this bad
And-
boy up.
Best case scenario, now we're on the ground.
Yeah.
My plan all
right
along.
back, right where I wanted to be. You're like, you know what? This hammock's not actually going to work.
Yeah. You're so obsessed with sleeping and having sex on the ground. Like she starts on the bed, you're like, oh, we fell off. Let's just keep going on the floor.
You have a decoy bed where the legs automatically break when you get in, and you're like, oh, I guess we're on the floor.
It's just like a bunch of cardboard boxes with sheets. You
Yeah.
fall. Oh no, again? My bed. Every plan is to get him on the floor. I was thinking about the pissing after sex feeling so good because it happened to me and I peed after and I literally moaned louder than the sex. It made me
And she's like, who's in there?
I was like, babe, don't worry. This is all part of the
This happened
process."
recently?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. With
with myself.
oh, dude, that's not pissing after sex.
Pissing after.
All right, I felt misled there, as did our.
I wasn't sure if I was going to be honest, but I haven't
Okay.
hooked up with
No,
anyone. So yeah, we're being honest.
I did. I was ready to be like, since our last podcast, this has happened.
No. I mean, yes, what I'm
So
talking
just
about.
yesterday, you're like, I've had the apartment to myself, no ladies.
I know. I was kind of telling you,
Yeah.
without telling you.
I got you.
But yeah, I peed after ejaculating, and it felt amazing again. And I actually want to double down on that comment that I still think.
Okay. You're like, I was doubting myself after the last time.
was.
I've gone back and confirmed. So, all right. So that means, do you have to now you prepare when you decide that you're going to have some one-on-one time with yourself? You're like,
Chugging water.
yeah, you chug water.
Huge piss coming up after. No, it's not like. I don't think it's the amount of piss that makes a difference. It's just like the.
This is going to be a Pavlov's dog thing where now every time you have to piss, you get an erection. Now you're just
Don't.
You're like, ooh,
An erection is very difficult.
of
But
course.
it's like so rare that those two things. Like I feel like it happened more when we were younger, and like you had just boners every morning.
well, it's usually after sex.
Yeah,
Peeing
but
is still a little boner.
typically the boner goes away after sex.
Yeah, I mean, I had to put it in a second. It's not a switch.
You sprinting to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Just Kate, gotta go. No, hold on, I have to pee with this boner. I only have a couple seconds. Yeah, no. Usually, I mean, if I'm peeing with a boner, it's because I haven't had sex, not because I have. Typically, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I
Like
don't know.
when I was younger, I think I woke up with a boner every single day when I was like 15, and I did have to run to the bathroom a lot. And I remember like kind of having to like angle forward sometimes.
Yeah, of course. You got to angle a little bit.
I had to stand all the way back in the living room. Just
Or you go to the shower and you just pee like chest height on the wall. It's like up here.
Jesus,
You know what I mean?
it's like never done that.
Well, it's just because your penis is no longer pointing downwards. So
I feel like if I'm peeing with that intense of a boner, like you're just jizzing at that point, dude.
No, you're jizzing. That's a you thing. I don't share this. I have never had that experience where
I don't think you're peeing good enough after.
You're right. It's my technique.
Yeah, give it. Really try and like get that piss out, and tell me it doesn't feel good.
I mean, I guess.
Well, next episode.
It's not like this hasn't happened. I don't know. Would I have to get in the mental space?
Yeah.
It only works if you're expecting it.
Yes.
Well, okay.
We still filming? Nice. We usually do a halfway check because
we've had many episodes where we finish and like we weren't recording the audio. The video wasn't on. Only one of the microphones was on. It's like,
and it's not like this is our second or third. We've come a long
We've
way.
done enough where we should have it down. We got this whole setup, and then it was last week or 2 weeks ago. We did a whole hour, and one of the mics wasn't on. It was just Brian's, and it would, yeah.
Actually, I need to charge my
And
laptop.
there's lights on the thing that tell you
like,
is which one's
you're not
making
right,
noise.
bro.
We just never bothered to even look. Now I'm looking now. To be like,
You're gonna have to riff for a second. I gotta grab my charger.
all right, I got a riff. Gio, hop in here. Hot mic. Let's go. This is our first guest.
What up, losers?
He doesn't mean that. He's more sincere. Yeah, you pull this up a little bit.
Pull this
right
up.
to your mouth. You want like yeah. All right.
close.
Well, you know, there's a happy medium between making out with it and
I'm just
and
making
being
sure.
far away.
Yeah.
I just thought this would be when you're. Do you have on your DJ setup like a mic where you can have like the okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice little attachment goes in. You can do whatever you want.
And so do you. So I know you haven't done any gigs. So are you in your apartment just kind of practicing?
No,
like,
I don't get that into.
let me hear it, people. Let me. I don't know. Well, because you
just
feel
go
like
hard.
you want to have a few stock lines ready, right?
You guys ready to fucking rage?
There it is. There you go. We got. You,
Hey, Colorado.
you need more like Italian themed lines where you're like, everyone got their chains on tonight. I've brought the gaba. Let me hear that ghoul. Where my linguini lovers at? Well, actually, these kind of roll off the tongue easily. They're not as. I thought they'd be harder to think of. Yeah, that'd be good. So are you? Yeah, I don't know. I'm running out of DJ questions fast.
That's you, everyone.
There's Gio. Hire him for your DJ gigs, especially if you're Italian. Those came out easily.
What, the Italian?
The Italian hype lines.
Well, I heard who's got the gaba, I got the ghoul. Or
Yeah, who's wearing chain tonight? Where my linguini lovers at? It's
I mean,
very.
the Jersey Shore was a successful show for a reason. DJ
They're all-
Pauly D, he was just born for it.
One of the guys does stand up now. What's his name?
Really, Mike? The Situation?
I think that's him. No, Mike the Situation he's the one that didn't have the grease bag hair. He had a buzz cut.
Vinny.
Vinny. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
he was like the nicest of them all, to be fair. Because
Yeah,
they're
right.
all like very not normal people, it seemed. But he was like, seemed like a normal guy that was just
No, he-
riding the show.
He seems nice, and I haven't seen him do stand up. Like he's fun on the podcasts I've listened to him on, but many comedians express their frustration with him because
he
he's
gets booked
brand new,
easy.
but he he does headlines. He's just booked everywhere because he's the biggest draw.
Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of fair.
It's fair. It's fair. But when you're like, fucking, I've been writing
like-
my jokes for you.
Celebrity DJs get away with everything.
Yeah.
They're like Shaq.
Shaq became one of the most famous DJs in a week.
As a DJ connoisseur was telling me, he is pretty decent, apparently. So, I mean, he earned it.
That's true.
But I think he did get a bit of a paved road to the
Yeah.
DJ sphere. However, he also earned that a bit. Like, it's not like he was just.
Do you think DJing is easy, or Shaq is just like he's like, this is what I should have been doing? He's like
was
like
my true
a
calling.
savant. He fell into it.
People be pissed if he didn't play basketball. He's fucking humongous.
Yeah.
And if he was just a DJ, they'd be like, you never tried it?
I know we get those questions at 6'4". Imagine you're
No,
7 feet.
tall.
Yeah,
I don't think it's even allowed for you to be 7 feet tall. I mean, I was gonna say a woman. If you're 7 feet tall, you're gonna die. But you probably need to go play.
Wait, why are you dying as a 7-foot woman?
I just don't think they have women that tall, or don't like.
Oh, and because smaller men are going to be challenging you to
Yeah.
fights to
I'm not
prove
saying
their
you're gonna get
manhood.
murdered.
They're like,
More like
you spend your days battling smaller
I was
men.
thinking like anyone over. What's the tallest guy? Like 7'3"
Of all time? No, they've broken 8 feet.
Yeah,
9 probably.
And how long did they live?
Not long.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning. Like,
So you're saying a 7-foot woman is like 9-foot guy?
yes, that was my
Yeah.
mentality.
Yeah,
I don't know.
you know
if
how
that's
most
true.
women are 4 feet tall.
It's proportionate.
Okay, yeah.
The-
Percentage wise.
What's the tallest woman we think?
Oh, all right.
Like, I
bet-
don't think she hit 7. Maybe.
No, I bet we've got an 8'8" woman.
No way.
8'6". I'm gonna go 8'6".
No shot. Under 7 feet.
Geo guesses height of the tallest woman ever.
7'4", he said.
What about you, Saber?
I'm saying under 7 feet.
All right, I think 8'6".
There's probably a 7'3" tall. 7'3". Tallest woman in the world. Tallest woman in the world is a 2024. She's stands at just 7 feet. 7 feet, 0.71 inches.
What about of all time? Could you do of all time? 'Cause
All
they had some tall.
time.
They had some tall bitches back in the 30s.
Oh, wow.
What do we got?
Zhang Jillian of China, who stood at 8 foot 1 inch at the time of her death in 1982.
Wow, still shorter than I thought.
While
it would
not
be.
officially recorded by the Guinness World Record, she's the only woman to have exceeded 8 feet in height. The tallest woman currently living is the girl I just mentioned, 7 feet tall.
And what's her win record in her battle?
And dude, she's terrifying. Like, her height is not. She's
you never get that size and then like look good.
No.
You know?
This is her with the smallest woman. Oh my god, I hate this picture so much.
It's just this is bad for our audio listeners, but it is terrifying. Give
Just
it a Google.
go and Google world's tallest and shortest woman, and
I love how they do that. They do that with the dudes too.
I know.
Anytime.
The dude one was cool though. It was like they like high fived. They were just holding him in his hand. Like
Yeah.
they looked a little more normal. These people do not look.
That was
normal.
something out of American Horror Story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man and smallest man. Let's just see these two. Come on, they're adorable.
They are fun. Yeah.
They're in suits too. The other people are wearing like. You know Yao Ming's parents. You know who Yao Ming is. Obviously, he's like 7'3".
Familiar.
His parents, the Chinese government, basically forced them to have a kid together. They took the 2 tallest people in China, make them have a kid so that they would have a good basketball player, and that's how Yao Ming came about.
That's crazy.
Like the Chinese government essentially were like, we're gonna cook up the biggest basketball parlay ever.
And it worked. Success.
Fucking killed, dude.
Dude, and you know the uglier of those two was like, oh no, how
fuck.
terrible. The making us. Oh.
The Chinese government is making me come inside you.
I hate when the Chinese government does this.
No, China, I don't want a nut.
Meanwhile, the other one is like, fuck.
Fucking, he's so big. He's huge. That would be pretty sweet, though.
Yeah, man, my
your whole
government-
life.
It's never hooked me up with a woman ever.
Especially a tall baddie. Where's my Dom mommy?
I've gotten 0 babes from the government.
The government sends me some small. Like, yeah, we're trying a different experiment with you.
Like, have you
actually.
seen my government issued babe? She's not anywhere.
Government issued cheese, government issued babe. My government issued babe.
They're at dinner parties, and he's just like, "Yep, fresh from the CCP, stock parts." It's very. Here's my documentation for her.
Apparently, she's got great vision. I don't know.
We
It's
have
supposed to be for our kids.
We have to produce one basketball prodigy, or we get put to death. It's very.
Are they still like? Did they like kill girls in China? Like, wasn't there an issue where you could only have?
Yeah, they had a one-child policy.
If it was like, what was the rumor? Was like, if it was a girl, you like
oh,
send
they
her
would
down
just
the river.
yeah, they would. Or it's like, are you having?
But like, why? Why
yeah.
do they not want women? Is it something to do with the lineage, or was it a basketball?
yeah,
thing?
it's like the dude carried on the family name.
She'll never play ball.
Yeah,
She'll never be
She'll
able to
never
dribble.
ball. It was sports focused.
Strictly basketball
Yeah.
focused. They love their basketball in China.
they're like, who's gonna mow the lawn? No, it was like they wanted to carry on their name and stuff, and that went down through the male line.
And if you had a
If you had-
firstborn daughter, would that take away from the male, or
well,
like,
then you're out of kids. You've meet your quota.
oh, because you could only have one.
You only have one. Yeah.
Oh, so you
And so
really want it to be a boy.
Yeah. And China's not known for their amazing healthcare. And so it was like, you know,
Are we known for our amazing healthcare?
we're not known for it being distributed to everyone, but we are known for having the best.
It's if you can afford it.
It's a trade off. It's either everyone gets it or it's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, doesn't Canada kind of have like a mixed bag where it's like
I know.
privatized healthcare is available, but it's everyone at least gets treated?
yeah, I know nothing about this.
Okay.
I just, everything I just said.
We don't
that's
get too political on the
that's
Moose
all I
Lounge.
know.
We're
Yeah.
here for smooth rhymes.
And good times.
Yeah, baby. No politics.
The Moose Lounge.
Well, we talk politics sometimes, but never like.
we did a whole episode on the Bill of Rights.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is that politics or is that like?
It seems like the most politics, right? It's like right down to.
But it's like, not I don't call it fake politics, but it's not like anyone's really getting up in arms about the things we were debating. Not all of
we
them.
got up in arms about the Bill of Rights. We were both.
Because we have the right to bear those up in arms.
Yeah, we don't know.
God damn it.
What were we fought about
We
if you
kicked
should
off
be
a
able
couple.
to fight, if you should be able to join the army, you should be able to vote.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we
Or
did
drink
argue
or
about
something
that.
like that.
I was saying
drink?
we definitely shouldn't bring this up again because we
Yeah.
argued, but it was 18.
Well, I've come around. I actually agree with you.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Maybe we should talk about it.
If you can't fight, if you're in a wheelchair, no voting.
No voting.
No voting for you. I'm on board. I like this perspective now.
Yeah, you need to be a contributing member to vote.
It is funny. You show up to the voting booth and there's someone, you just have to defeat someone to vote. The 7-foot woman. You have to defeat the 7-foot woman to cast your vote.
And she's holding the smallest woman, so we have like anyone who's not mentally set to handle this battle as well.
Yeah, they're a tag team.
Get the fuck
duo.
outta here.
She's like, she launches the smaller woman at you, and the smaller woman is like running over your chest.
Oh, God, get
and
it off.
scratching your eyes. While she comes in with the haymaker.
Oh.
Oh no,
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 we're
the
good.
headphones.
We're still audioing.
But yeah, I do like that. You should have to fight.
When you were saying I have to fight something, I was thinking like a set of stairs. Because if you're in a wheelchair, you can't vote.
Oh yeah,
It's
it's,
like battle
it's a
this.
challenge to meet you where you're at.
Yeah.
You show up in a wheelchair, it's a stair. If it's
If you're under 5 feet tall, they give you the tallest woman. Over 6 feet, you get the shortest.
you have no legs, you show up in a room with a wooden board and a set of tap dancing shoes. like
make a dance.
make it happen.
You show up, you're like dancing pretty hard. There's a no dancing law sign. Staying there for
Yeah.
30 minutes.
You're dyslexic. It just says the word. It says big board with the word quixotic, and they're like, what does it say?"
Spell it out. I love coffee.
Coffee's good.
Coffee's fire, dude. Have you always drank coffee?
No,
When did you start?
college. Started in college
Yeah.
when I was just doing all the uppers. I don't know. Would you do all night? I would do all nighters maybe too often in college.
Yeah, but I didn't drink a ton of coffee until after college, but like there was Adderall. That was definitely not me. Other people were taking it around me at all
Well, you had a
times.
prescription for Vyvanse, right?
Focalin, yeah.
Okay,
No,
yeah.
I was taking Adderall, but
I was like, you don't need to. You weren't doing. I was doing it illegally. You were like,
I don't think my prescription told me to snort it before going out. It's like doctor's orders.
You're like, Doc, I'm having a tough time staying awake through these raves. Do you have anything for me?
I'm like, yeah, so doc, I have a really hard time focusing after drinking all night and trying to have sex. He's like, oh, just rail some Focalin off her
It's like,
titties and
I've
you should
got
be
this for you.
fine. Doctor's orders. I have to sprinkle this on your butt cheeks and
It was. Many of the kids I would speak to that were on Adderall were like, yeah, I wanted Adderall. And I was just like, so I went and took the test and I was like, oh, I'm bored by these blocks or whatever. What is the test? It's something like that.
I don't remember the test. It definitely wasn't like a.
I think the test is, do you want Adderall?
I pretty much showed up and I was like, I have ADD, and they were like, yeah, probably.
Like, no one would lie about this.
Well, the first time I took it, I took the SATs and I like did so well, and I went home still high as fuck on Adderall. I was like, Dad, I took Adderall and I did so well on the SATs, and I want to do Adderall now. He was like, all right, let's calm down. Let's not tell your mother, and let's go talk to a doctor.
He's like, you did drugs. You did what on the SATs?
He's like, 1675.
This is, I don't know, you're onto something.
Yeah, maybe these drugs aren't so bad. But I remember the first doctor I went to was a psychiatrist or a psychologist, the guy that couldn't prescribe drugs. Because my mom was like, we're not going to go straight to.
I think psychologists can't. Psychiatrists
Yeah,
can.
it was a psychologist. And
Yeah.
so I went to talk to him for like a month or two. And I was kind of like beating around the bush, but I'm like, so are you going to give me the Adderall? Like, how do we get it? He's like, I can't prescribe Adderall. And I was like, I don't think we need to talk anymore. And I went from that guy to a psychiatrist. Walked in, the guy was like, the psychologist was like, so how does that make you feel? And like, he was really trying to get to the bottom. Walked in the psychiatrist, and he was like, yeah, so it's hard to focus. I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, we're going to start off with 60 milligrams. I'm like, all right. Like, what the fuck was that before?
They're so liberal with that.
And then I was at college, and I had to like get the prescription re-upped, and like, they wouldn't send it to you. You had to go. So I was like, okay, maybe he wants to make sure I'm still have ADD. I'd walk in and be like, hey, what's up? Still having trouble focusing? Yeah, okay. Like I'm like, we couldn't have done this on the phone. There's no test. It was just I want it. Okay, you can get it.
Yeah, it's not.
I
And
feel
it's
like
such a weird approach, Like if you have an open wound, you don't just keep going back for more band-aids. Like they're like still bleeding. Here's a cloth. Like we're not gonna stitch you
put
up.
a moist towelette every 2 days on it. And
Yeah.
it should be manageable. Should help you a little bit. I mean, is there an answer to ADD? Like a solution?
I don't
I think it's more like
I don't know enough about it, but my thoughts are like it's just pretty normal. It's not ADD. It's like no, you're just a child with a ton of energy.
Yeah.
And it's so strange. You never have ADD when you enjoy what you're focusing on.
I was gonna say it's less of like a fix it, more of a find something that you can still do well, or like your ADD is beneficial.
No one's like, I need ADD. I can't pay attention for Call of Duty. It's very no one has any issues.
Well, I think some like if you have ADHD and like you're really have no trouble focus or any trouble focusing, is things that you even enjoy are difficult. I think. I don't know.
I mean, maybe I've just never met anyone that has ADD and is like, I love this, but I just can't. It's
can't focus during the.
It's always like weird. I get distracted doing these tasks I hate. Yeah, so is welcome to the world. It's very.
Well, you like start a lot of different tasks.
That's why it's impressive when people do all those because they suck and they're hard to focus on. You know.
But when you do Adderall, you do want to get rid of all those stupid little tasks. You're like, actually, I will fold the dishes.
Let me fold the dishes.
Let me get on that. Yeah. It's true. I mean, Adderall, I haven't done it in a while, but I do remember just being like, I'm fucking amazing at everything. Yeah. I'm so good at shit.
No, I did it in college a bunch. It was useful for sure.
It makes like drawing a division sign feel good. You're like, oh, dude, that was such a good fucking line. Like, nailed that. Oh my God. Gio took Adderall in college. And weren't you in the library for like 12 hours? You couldn't move. Didn't you faint?
Yeah, I didn't blink. I wrote like a second essay for fun. It was one sentence. I didn't even know paragraph.
I remember
one long sentence.
It was terrifying. It was like 30 pages of one thought.
I went for math homework. How that happened.
I remember that. That was like, you were bad. You got home from the library and you had to like keep writing. You're like, I can't stop.
I couldn't feel my eyes. I had to stop. There was no warning before he gave me this like 70 milligrams.
Yeah, it was way too much.
So I had coffee. I didn't eat. And then I took this. And then I just went sick. I thought I was on to something.
Yeah, everyone. As soon as everyone takes it, they're like, I think I'm going to run the world. I think.
People are in the library trying to study. This guy's coming over cracked out. Like, I figured it out.
I think the only time, we may have done it twice, but the only time I did cocaine, have I told you this story? At Lollapalooza?
Yeah.
Well,
this is a long time ago, college.
It's freshman year of college. And it's probably the only time I've done it because it's had such a terrible experience.
And I remember being like, shocked because we were young, freshman year. I was like, Eddie did cocaine.
I had a wild roommate, but anyway, so it was after finals week. We had a big thing called Lollapalooza. Everyone put on Hawaiian shirts, and they had a bunch of stuff out, typically designed for children, but now they were presenting it to college students. You know, like ball pit, whatever. Yeah. And so I pulled an all-nighter, was drinking coffee and doing Adderall all night. Took my exam at like 9 a.m.
How'd that exam go?
I don't remember. Fine. I graduated.
Job.
And then everyone's like, all right, Lollapalooza time. Because it was going on while you're taking this final. And so you're like in the final looking outside at like the biggest Hawaiian party. Yeah, everyone's like, woo! And you're like,
The ball pit's hitting your window.
So I go, and my roommates are all partying, and I got cocaine. And so I was like, yeah, I'll try it. It's Lollapalooza. Yeah. I'm still, I have no irises from the cocaine, from the Adderall. So I take it. I spend 20 minutes talking so fast, running around our dorm, like just machine gun. I'm saying stuff and I don't even want an answer. And I'm just going person to person for about 20 minutes. And then very suddenly I stop. I projectile vomit into the trash can for like 3 or 4 minutes. And then pass out. I just never did it.
And that was your cocaine experience?
That was my cocaine experience.
Was it a sick like 30 minutes?
No, I just feel like what I was told was I annoyed everyone for 30 minutes.
And then threw up and went to sleep.
Vomited. It was like 2 rooms connected, and I vomited in the trash can of not my room, their room, and then went to my room and passed out.
That was your Adderall brain going right there.
Yeah, I was like,
throw up not where I'm about to sleep.
Smart. Keep these 2 things separate. And then I didn't go to Lollapalooza, and then I never went.
You didn't go?
No, that was my that was us getting ready to like, we'll pregame a little and go to Lollapalooza.
I mean, realistically, going out all night, taking an exam, you were never going to make it to Lollapalooza.
if I hadn't done the coke, I had just the right amount of Adderall where I was like, I could do Lollapalooza.
That's just the Adderall talking.
I would put on my Hawaiian.
I had it figured out, bro.
I put on my Hawaiian.
I was onto something.
I was like, let's do this.
I mean, I've never done back-to-back all-nighters. Usually, like, if I pull an all-nighter, the next day sucks, especially, like, halfway through. But towards the end, you kind of get that second wind. But you need to go to bed, like, on a reasonable hour that night. I've never gone into the next day. I can't imagine what would...
Yeah, no.
I'd start, like, passing out, I think.
Well, I didn't do 2 days in a row.
Well, that's what you were kind of about to do. If you went out to Lollapalooza, that would have been an all-nighter, no?
Oh.
You were doing coke and Adderall.
Yeah, we're doing, it's like 2 p.m. we're doing this coke.
Oh.
Because I took my test, and it was right after. I took my test at 9.
I thought it was like...
Okay, I see. No. It was...
Like you were gearing up for...
Lollapalooza is a daytime thing. It's a ball pit, and yeah.
Yeah, I guess that is kind of implied.
It was more than a ball pit. That's just the one I remember. But it was like that type of thing.
Just all ball pits.
Yeah, it's just lots
different
of ball
kinds
pits.
of ball pits.
Like, they love this.
We didn't... Was it like college sponsored?
Yeah, like it was on the college campus. And it was what everyone did.
Blow?
Everyone partied in their dorm rooms and then went hammered to do all... Because it was kids' activities.
You had to be a little hammered.
Ball pits aren't that fun if you're dead sober.
Throw in some coke and booze.
Yeah.
Sign me up. When was the last time you were in a ball pit? Lollapalooza.
Like,
Did you ever
no,
go?
I didn't even get to go.
That was... You were like one and done the next 3 years? You're like, no.
Well, then I had a job the next 3 years. I didn't do it. But...
Yeah, day drinking and jobs really don't go hand in hand.
Yeah, well, I was gone. Like, I never was there for the weekend of finals, and like, I didn't walk for the. I just had a job I liked more.
You grew up.
Yeah. I did. So looking back, I was probably so annoying, but I did have that attitude. I was like,
Lollapalooza.
It's like, you guys are walking for graduation. I'll be working that weekend.
I'll be stacking my 401k.
No,
meanwhile you're a lifeguard.
I was a coach making $15,000 a year, like no money at all.
Oh yeah, I'll be working. They're like, yeah, we're all getting jobs.
Mm-hmm.
We're walking to our jobs.
Oh.
We had a friend who missed his graduation because it was Raj. Shout out Raj. He got the wrong day, and his mom flew from India to see.
Well, how far off was it? Like, it's the next day, or was it a week?
7 a.m. graduation, and he thought it was like the 4.
Oh.
So he got there, and they were like, "You graduated already." It was pretty bad. He doesn't like to. Hopefully, he doesn't watch this far along because he didn't like to talk about it for a while.
Yeah, it's probably a big fight with the family.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Mom flew from India.
Did you guys get the actual diploma when you walked across? Or did you get
they just give you like a piece of paper.
I hate that. Like, what is? It's already so pretend.
Well, I don't
putting
even
on these
think,
robes.
Like, our grades weren't even like finalized when we walked. Like, technically, you could have still failed, but walked across.
Well, then don't walk later. I don't know.
Well,
it would be nice if this is actually, you need this document to prove it. We're giving it to you now. Not you can pretend. We'll see how it goes.
I mean, dude, if you had a cap and gown. Like if you just, even if it was close, I think you would have gotten away. Our graduation had like 1,000 people from the business school, and you didn't really need to be part of that graduation to walk because there were just too many people. They weren't doing like a head count. You got tickets for a specific time. So if your family wanted to watch you, you had to go to your right one. But if you missed, because I was telling Raj, like, I noticed people were just walking up and they give everyone a like flashcard that you write your name and how to pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the only order they go by. Like, they are just reading the flashcards. It's not really who graduated. It's who handed me these names. And then you hear your name and you go.
Yeah.
So you could just basically go to every graduation, graduate from every fucking school.
Here's a photo of me walking at
yeah. And I don't think you'd get your photo actually, because that was tied to your name somehow. But you could write whatever name you wanted on the flashcard. That I remember because we graduated with Tyrion Lannister. And I heard it. I was like, the fuck? He was just some fat Asian kid. And he was like, yo! I was like, okay.
That's fun.
That's pretty funny.
But that's what I mean. They don't give you the real degree. It just makes it all feel like you're putting on a small play for your parents.
Yeah, it's not for...
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be. It could be like, this is the only piece of paper to prove it, and we're going to hand it to you right now.
You need to be here to get it.
Yeah. Like, this is... Then at least it's like, all right, it's the graduation. It's a big deal.
And like, you're trying to go to your job. You're at a job offer, and they're like, but do you have the diploma?
Where's the paper? Yeah.
Oh, no, I graduated. Like, we are going to need to see it in person. You have to bring it everywhere.
Do you have your degrees hung up somewhere? Degree?
My diploma's in my home in Stanford, but
Yeah,
it's
same
also
license.
next to a scorecard where I beat my dad in golf for the first time. So those two are framed
Right next to each
equal
other.
importance. Both my achievements.
Yeah, my parents have mine on display because I don't know.
I feel
hate
my roommate graduated from law school last weekend. Shout out Case, and his girlfriend got him a big frame for the law diploma, and I feel like that's one you hang up because it's when you're in.
I was gonna say all lawyers. They've got it on there in their office.
I think in your office it is kind of like if I walked into my lawyer's office and he has like a fucking Budweiser poster on the wall, I'm like,
he just has a framed golf scorecard when he beat his dad on the wall.
Honestly, that guy I might fuck with. That's a guy who wants to win.
He's like 70, still with dad issues. He's like, I told him I would beat him.
I told
he
that
didn't
old
believe me.
fucker I beat him.
Look at this, but here's the proof for everyone to see. You know too.
A couple of years ago, I don't remember what it was, like some stomach issue, something. And I wanted to go to the doctor, and I had just moved here, so I didn't really have a doctor or anything. And I asked my mom if she knew any around here. She lives in the city, and my grandma knew someone. It was like her doctor that she went to, and she recommended him. Good guy. I'm like, okay. And I was stupid. I didn't check with my insurance to see if I was in network. This was kind of before I realized that was a big deal. Never will make that mistake again. And I went to this doctor's office. It like didn't click at first, but I did notice there were a shit ton of file cabinets everywhere. Like so many, the whole lobby of this small office was just file cabinets. I was like, kind of a weird vibe for the doctor's office, but all right, important to keep files. And the receptionist had a computer, but when I walked into the doctor, like the actual guy, it was just like a desk, like a wooden desk. He had a bunch of books around him, no computer. Weird. I'm like, okay. This man was like 80 years old, did not own a computer. He, at one point I was telling him what was wrong. He goes to a fucking book.
That's
so
so
I'm
funny.
like, no fucking way. He's
Like, let's see what they thought about this in 1980.
like, why? So I'm like, definitely this makes sense as my grandma's doctor.
Uh-huh.
I leave and I'm like, okay, how much does this cost? It was $500 for this visit. $500 fucking dollars. And I'm like, all right, here's my credit card. Like, this is crazy. They're like, oh, we'll call your insurance. Maybe they'll pay you back. I'm like, there's no fucking way. They don't accept credit cards here. I'm like, you don't accept credit cards? She's like, no, cash or check. I'm like, well, I don't have $500. She's like, don't worry, there's an ATM right down the street. I felt like I was getting mugged. I had to go to the ATM to get $500.
You got to tell people that beforehand. Yeah, that's nuts.
And so I call my mom. I'm like, that was a mistake. Like, I'm never going to this doctor again. I've been to a normal doctor since. But like 6 months after I did that, I got a letter in the mail from him. I'm like, this is going to be another bill. He was announcing his retirement. I was like, okay, so I was part of your fucking Hawaii fund. Yeah, he's like, see, we get 500.
He was about to retire. He's like, one more.
Make sure he pays cash. I don't want to. So that was definitely don't go to the doctor if they don't have a computer. Walk out. The filing cabinets, I should have known. All of their files are on paper. They do not have digital files.
Should we do jokes?
Yeah, we're at 53 minutes.
Let's do it. You might recognize some of these jokes from Michael's stand-up set, I think. Our producer, Michael Raffone. Okay.
You know, I don't have a chiseled jawline because that would hurt. Who wants a chiseled jaw?
Yeah.
Give me a nice soft jaw.
Well,
How would Michael have wanted that to be read?
No, that was good, but I thought he was going for like, I don't have a chiseled, like no one's chiseled my jawline.
Oh, I was thinking like,
oh, like it's
ow.
sharp? Oh, no, I was thinking like, no, don't chisel my jawline.
Don't jizz on my jawline. That's what I thought you just said.
It must suck to live in an igloo. Every time you get some nice weather, you got to build another house.
We've definitely said that one. What do you call the HOV line in China?
What?
Panda Express. That's a good one. That one's not racist.
No.
You would have to find a reason to get mad.
You'd have to be looking to get mad. Yeah. Good news. It has been 6 weeks since my sister had her belly button pierced, so she can swim again. She also just gave birth to a one-eyed baby boy.
From the archives.
From the archives. It's because the belly button ring got the eye of the baby. And that's why.
Love when you have to explain it.
Yeah, it's not good when I have to explain.
Jay, you want to do your priest joke?
Yeah.
Get over here.
Here, take mine.
We'll finish up with that.
We're running off with a bang. All right, so two priests are driving down the road when they hear a siren behind them. So they pull over to the side of the road, pull down their window. The cop comes up, and he looks at the priest and says, "Hey, we're looking for two pedophiles." So the priests look at each other, look back at the cop, and say, "We'll do it."
Nice.
One of my favorites.
That's been the Moose Lounge, ladies and gentlemen. Danke.